Welcome to this Football Manager 2018 tactics video, where today I'm going to talk about my rather impressive Napoli tactic. To be precise, it's actually two tactics, but they're very, very similar. We've got an attacking home tactic and a counter-attacking away tactic. Now this is almost exactly the same as the Manchester City tactic I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. The only difference really is that it's been mirrored. But I've had quite a few people during my Napoli FM18 Let's Play series ask about the tactic, ask for a link for the download. So I thought I'd make a separate video on this one as well. Now, there are links in the description below. It goes to the Steam Workshop now that the full game has been released. I've put the two links to the Napoli attack and Napoli counter-attack tactics, and also the two links to the Manchester City ones. I had only originally made an attacking Manchester City one, but I have created a counter one as well. So it really depends on if you want the inside forward to be on the left and the right side midfielder to be deep, or the other way around as to what you would prefer really. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on. It's not necessarily going to work for you, like I said in the Manchester City video. Just because I've been very successful with it, it doesn't mean you will be. It really will depend on the team you select. Also, it's very important that you have players that can meet the standard required for each role. Additionally, there might be updates, and with the full release of the game, the tactic might be less effective. I don't know. We'll have to find out. So yeah, I'm curious to find out whether it works with other teams. Now, one important thing I think is probably training as well. It can have an impact on how successful your team is. And this is what I've done pretty much for the whole season, apart from in pre-season. Now, in pre-season, I selected team cohesion, but put it on high. Once the season had started, I put it on low. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think if you've got it on lower intensity, then you should have less injuries. Match preparation, I put it on match tactics. For the entire season, I would occasionally change it up for individual matches, although I think I only ever did that once, to be honest, with this. So, to be honest, I've not really touched the training. It has gone, I don't really understand how it's been so successful. It's almost been like a plug and play tactic for me. I've very rarely have to do tweaks. In game, I do things like I will switch between the attacking one and the counter one, but and I occasionally will maybe press roam from positions, or I do tend to use a lot of the in-game shouts as well, like encourage or demand more, that sort of thing. So that does help. So it's not necessarily a plug and play and you leave it and you're going to win every game. It's just it does seem to look after itself, but whether it does that for you remains to be seen, I suppose. Anyway, I'll talk you through this tactic then, but first of all, I'll just show you how successful it was in the league. Unbeaten in the league. Obviously, the Man City one was unbeaten in all competitions. Can't say the same for this one, but unbeaten in the league. Now, Napoli, slightly weaker team than Man City. If I'd got a bit lucky, I might have been able to win the Champions League, but we lost against PSG in the quarterfinals. If you want to watch my first season of my Napoli series, check it out. I will be doing a second season as well. So, like I said, very similar tactic to, in fact, it's the same as the Man City tactic. Let's not pretend otherwise. It's just a mirrored image. So for those of you that watched the Man City tactic, you don't really need to watch the rest of this video. For those of you that didn't and want to learn a bit more about it, carry on watching. But one of the key questions I keep getting, either on Twitter or YouTube, is about the lines between the players. Now, this is just something, this is a new feature on FM18. It's just the partnerships and relationships that develop between different positions over the season. So, for example, Digne, who I signed on loan in January, has a strong partnership with Insigne, as they've played for half a season together. They both perfectly suit their roles, so you've got a good partnership up the left-hand side here. Same with he signed Aaron Lennon, who I amusingly did sign on loan. Strong partnership once again. They both suit those roles as well. Diawara and Rog, good partnership. Hamsik, Mertens, fairly decent partnership. Despite playing for the entire season, it's not a perfect partnership because Mertens is a very good trequartista, but it's not his natural position. He would prefer to play on the left in Insigne's place, but Mertens was the best option up there, and he plays really well as a trequartista. Hamsik's not perfect for the advanced playmaker role either. He'd rather play slightly deeper, but he does play pretty well with in that format, in that position. So there's a fairly decent partnership there as well. Now, there's coloured boxes for those of you that haven't seen FM18 yet or don't really know what it's all about. It's basically how you cover the pitch with all these formations and your tactic. If it's brown colour, then you're not really covering that part of the pitch very well. All of this is green. The main reason why I selected this formation when I first booted up FM18 and decided to manage Man City, I just wanted to create a formation and tactic where most of the pitch would be covered, and that's what I did, and it just miraculously worked. Down the bottom here, this is something that also develops over time. You've got recent match analysis, the positives and the negatives. So this tactic tends to produce these positive things and these negative things. Now, we have a lot of touches to goal ratio, but I don't see that as a bad thing. We play out from the back with Pepe Reina as a sweeper keeper. He passes it short. These are the only two extra player instructions that I've added to any position, by the way. Take short kicks and distribute quickly. In fact, this is the only difference between this tactic and the Man City one. I have selected the sweeper keeper as attacking rather than support, mainly because Reina suits that better. Edison at Man City preferred the support role. Reina prefers the attacking role. So that is the only difference between the two. So we have a lot of touches to goal, but we work it around the pitch and we get into good positions and then we score. So it doesn't really matter that, to be honest. We tend to lose possession in the middle third central, so I'm guessing around this zone a bit. Maybe because although we've got three midfielders in here, they're not bunched together. So that perhaps, I don't know, perhaps when Diawara was playing to Rog and then Rog to Hamzik, we're occasionally getting the ball cut out. Long range shots, does that mean we're not very good at long range shots or we're having too many long range shots? I'm not entirely sure what this means. Oh, here we go. We've scored just 1 of 35 shots attempted from outside the penalty area. So that might not be down to the tactic, that might just be down to the players not having particularly good long shots, maybe. That's interesting, I didn't realise you could click on that. So looking at team instructions then, this is what I have on. It is the same as the Man City one. We play, I think it is. I think we play did we play fairly wide with Man City? I might be wrong. I might have made a couple changes since then. Either way, it's pretty much the same and has been almost as effective. Higher tempo, we close down much more, which really does increase the intensity and can produce more injuries. But the tactic I have mainly been using, or the mentality I've mainly been using, is counter rather than attacking this year. I tend to play counter in all away games, regardless of the opposition, and I will switch to the attacking one if we're struggling, especially against weaker opposition. At home, I usually go attacking unless I'm playing a strong team, for example Juventus, then I would go counter regardless, and also in the Champions League as well. We look for overlap, we play out defence, we pass into space. It's just brilliant to watch football, attractive football at pace, keeping hold of the ball as well. I don't always click retain possession. In fact, it's off, but I occasionally click retain possession if my assistant says we need to keep hold of the ball. But yeah, other than that, I do leave it off. Same with roam from positions. I will occasionally press it if I feel we need it, but most of the time I leave it off. So those are the team instructions. Like I said, player instructions, there isn't anything extra apart from Reina having take short kicks and distribute quickly. Everything else is just the standard things that are selected anyway when you select these roles. So yeah, nothing more to add there whatsoever. I don't do any opposition instructions in the tactic either. I do that before every game. I tend to get my assistant to do that. I haven't messed around with match plans yet. This is a new thing on Football Manager. It's been on FM Touch before, but it enables you to add different scenarios depending on situations in games. Like if you're still drawing 0-0 at 60 minutes, it will automatically switch from standard to attacking, for example. So that's something you could fiddle around with if you like. Set pieces. Now, I'm no expert on set pieces, I'll be honest. Corners, though, I'm not really sure what to do with defensive corners. If someone wants to let me know, then go for it. It does tend to change every year, the best way to set up corners, so I haven't worked it out yet. But attacking wise, I've done a couple of things. Firstly, I like to play it short. I'm not really sure if this is the best thing to do, but it can work for me. We've got one player looking outside the area. I think you can select 2 this year, and then also a player attacking from deep. So quite often we'll have the corner taker passing it to Aaron Lennon, for example, and then he'll cross it back to here or put a ball into the box, and it seems to work. On the left hand side, gone for something a bit different now. Yes, this is it. You can have 2 players lurking outside the area. This is something I've only just changed, in fact. but I feel like it will work. So I've gone for penalty spot. You can't seem to select the ball to be knocked to the edge of the box. I find that a bit strange. You'd have thought there would be an option to do that, but the closest you can get is penalty box, I think, which is a little bit irritating. But the corner taker does tend to knock it out here, and we've got these two players lurking. I don't know why I selected Diawara, because his long shots are only 10, and Mertens with 14. I might change that up, but you can obviously fiddle around with this, depending on your team. This is something I've only literally just changed, in fact. So I wasn't playing with two players lurking outside the area for the whole season. And I almost forgot to show you the other one, because obviously I've just shown you counter. Attacking is the same, apart from we've got, what's it turned off? Play wider. So play wider is on counter, but not attack. I didn't actually realise that myself. But with attacking, that's the only difference. We don't have play wider on, and the intensity is a lot higher because you're attacking. So be wary of this. You might pick up a lot of injuries, maybe smaller injuries, because they're really tired, and their fitness and sharpness will go down a bit quicker. But that really is the only difference. And like I said, I tend to use that at home against weaker teams. But probably 3/4 of the games this season, I have decided to go with the counter one, and it's worked wonders. So I think that's about it. It's quite a remarkable tactic. For me anyway. I hope you get some success as well. Please hit that like button if you'd be interested in more tactics videos. Maybe I can review your tactics. That's a possible series, isn't it? You send me a tactic, I give it a go for a few days with a team and see how it is. Let me know if you think that's a good idea for a series, or possibly just me talking about I'm not a massive expert on tactics. I kind of stumble onto something that seems to work, and then I just go with it. I don't really understand the whole science behind things. What is really meant to go, like the combinations that are meant to go together. I should probably know by now, but I don't. To be honest, I just hit and hope. I hit the buttons and hope, and it more often than not it seems to work. So maybe intuitively or instinctively, I know something. There's something in my brain that knows how things work. I just can't seem to communicate that across. Anyway, I hope you have fun with this tactic. It surprisingly is strong defensively. You do tend to get some games where you can score a few goals, but it's not crazy. You don't win 7-0 3 games in a row. It is quite a sensible tactic, even though you might think it looks quite attacking. It generally, for example, let's just see for those of you that didn't watch the Napoli series, it's got the best defence in the league. 15 goals conceded in 38 games with this tactic. So it is actually really, really strong defensively, and we got the second best attack. It's not crazy goals. You know, it's about 2 a game, I suppose, on average. But defensively, it's under half a goal a game, which is just incredible. So we'll leave it there for today. Thank you for watching today's video. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Until next time, enjoy FM18, and I'll see you very soon.